Hello and welcome to FPL Animate. My name is Oded. After a long time with no videos, I'm back on the horse. On this video I'll be focusing on Leicester, the fixtures till the end of the season, rotation in the league and in Europe, and which players should be the main picks for every position. And as always, if you like the content, like my graphic and my type of videos, please press the like button and subscribe. And let's get to it. So we will start in mid-April for Leicester. 8 games to be scheduled for now in the league and in Europe as well, meaning Leicester will play 2 games a week, sometimes only 2 days apart from game to game. If they will go through the semi-finals of the Conference League, more games will add to their schedule on the 28th, and Spurs game probably will be rescheduled for the 1st of May. A very busy schedule and rotation in the squad will play a major role in picking the right players for your team. So we can see all the different defense lineup in games in the league after matches in Europe, like on the 7th they will play Eindhoven and 3 days after they will play against Palace. So I'm guessing a major change will be mostly in defense for Palace, and of course can be changes in the middle and front as well. Same goes for the second leg in Europe on the 14th and 3 days after Newcastle away. So heavy rotation will be in most of the games this month, and for the Leicester point of view, this busy schedule comes at the best time because all of their players are fit to play, except Nadiri. So they will have 8 or 9 defenders who can be rotated in every game. For FPL point of view, it's not that good. Picking the right defender for the league will be pretty hard. Trying to nail the one who will play the most among 8 defenders who can all play in every game. So let's go over the games Leicester got for the remaining of the season. It's a busy but on paper and okay matches from now on. If we taking out Manchester United for a second in game week 31, the rest of the game week is pretty decent for Leicester. Beside of course Spurs in game week 35 and Chelsea that need to be rescheduled. All the other matches there is a good chance for Leicester to gain some important points, and from an FPL perspective to keep some clean sheets and get attacking returns against teams that most of them are below Leicester in the table. Of course Leicester got 2 more matches to rearrange, Chelsea and Norwich as I said. Those double game week could be in game week 35, game week 36 for sure, and game week 37. So they can get a hard double game week like Spurs and Chelsea away, and also get much easier one in game week 36 with Everton and Norwich at home. So a lot of games, a lot of potential points both from the defense and the offense. The only problem again is the massive rotation that should be in the starting 11 with all those double games, which means Leicester will play every 3 days a game from April to the end of the season. And if you look at the stats for their defense and offense throughout the season, the numbers not in their favor all year long. In defense throughout the season, the opponent teams average more than 15 shots to goal and had more of the ball most of the games. You can blame that on the massive injuries Leicester had in their backcourt, with major players like Justin and Fofana missed out most of the season, and players play out of their position because there weren't enough defenders fit to play week in and week out. In 27 games in the league they kept only 5 clean sheets, and the stats here are also from the Cups games and Europe. So now with the busy schedule and the rotation among the defenders, the stats maybe will stay the same. We can see from the last 5 games that there were no improvement in the defense end and got even worse. But we have to consider that the major defensive player just returned and will take them time to get into playing rhythm. As for the offense, things not look any better for now. Almost 12 shots in average throughout the season and 4.6 at goal. These numbers are okay, but is not nearly high as the teams above them in the table. In the last 5 games it got even worse. Here as well, the absence of major players due injuries like Vardy and Maddison hurt their flow and rhythm along the season, and now when everybody beside Ndidi should be fit for game week 31, this is their chance to improve their stats, both sides of the field, and make a great run throughout the end. So which formation will Leicester play from now on when all of Leicester players are fit and ready to go? Leicester right now is in a comfortable spot in the league where there is no danger to get close to the red line, and will take some effort to get a place that send them to Europe next year. So it's safe to say that they will put their most effort in a double header in the Europe against Eindhoven and show up with their best starting 11. So we will start of course with the most nailed player in the Leicester squad, the keeper. Even though he kept only 5 clean sheets all year long, he is still able to gain 3.6 saves per game. And maybe now with the defense in front of him be more stable, he will manage to keep his save average and keep some clean sheet as well. In defense, Leicester played two kind of formation this year. Back 4 with 2 center backs and 2 defenders on the sides, or the formation of 3 center backs and the right and left defenders goes in front. This one is more traditional formation for Leicester, and those are the players I think will start every match, or every important match for Leicester. With no rotation and no injuries, Justin and Cassania should take the left and right back position. Fofana and Suancho will take the center backs. Most likely Evans will be instead of Suancho when he will be fit to play 90 minutes. In the middle we will have Tielemans alongside Albrigton or Mendy as 2 in the center midfield, and Maddison, Barnes and Hall is the 3 front midfielders, and in front, when he's fit of course, Vardy. So it will be a 4-2-3-1 formation, one that Leicester love to play, especially against better teams. So let's say this formation and players will play like this against Manchester United and 5 days after against PSV Eindhoven. And 3 days later there will be probably some rotation in each position almost, so we can see a completely different defense. Lookman, Mendy can come on and start, and Vardy probably won't play back-to-back games anyway or sub at halftime, so we will see of more Dako or Inecio fill in back-to-back games. The other formation that Leicester could play is 3-4-2-1. They didn't play this formation often this season because they didn't have enough healthy center backs to do that. Now that everyone is fit, we will see more and more this kind of formation, especially against teams that struggle to score. So Justin and Cassania will have more freedom to go up, as we saw in the game against Brentford. And again, they have enough players to switch position in defense. If they do play this formation, there is more chances that some players will play back-to-back games when you got 5 players in defense. So who got the best chance to play the most minutes in the league will be the biggest questions. In defense you got variety of players to choose from. In this point it will be more easy to pick a Manchester City, Liverpool or even Chelsea defenders than guessing who is going to play in defense for Leicester when you got 8 or 9 players who can play first team in every game and they're all available. So the first defender you can keep an eye on for the long run are those. As you can see, all of them are pretty cheap, and it's not that surprising considering most of them were injured most of the season. But even those who play not come in price more than 6 million. And that's of course because low ownership all season long because of a lack of clean sheets. The main defenders are right here. Justin and Fofana. Now that they are fully fit, will probably open in every game. Sometimes even back-to-back games like we saw with Justin playing in Europe and a few days after starting against Brentford. Minutes management will be a key here as well. I guess if Leicester lead 3 or 4-0 in Europe or in the league, some defenders can be sub out and get some rest before the next game. It's all guessing right now, and that is so hard to predict who will start, how many minutes he will get and which games he will get a rest. Just need to follow each game and see who is more likely to start the next one. Cassania jumped right into the starting lineup against Brentford after a long absence as well. Played 63 minutes and even got an attack in return, so it's safe to say that he is back to take his place in the starting lineup. Centre is in the risk rotation for the second center back role with Evans. So if we look at the other 4 defenders, we can see players who play every match up until now like Thomas and Amaretti, who may lose their place now that Justin and Fofana and Cassania are back. Pereira started the season well and got injured himself, and I see him now only as a backup as well. But again, for the 10-time rotation, all of these players can start games in the league after Europe or in double game weeks. And let's not forget that Vestergaard is also there, waiting for his minutes, but I don't see him as a starting player in any scenario. More like a late sub to keep Leicester results in the late minutes of the game. So in conclusion, if you are going for a Leicester defender, better to bring him on after the games against Manchester United and Eindhoven in Europe. See who is playing against Manchester United and if there is any changes against Eindhoven. If Justin, for example, play only 60 or 70 minutes against PSV, surely he will start 3 days after against Palace. Maybe double up on Leicester defenders won't be the worst idea, but again, with all that saying, Need to remember, Leicester defense right now is one of the worst. So going with the right defenders in the right games that can also keep a clean sheet and maybe get an attack in return as well seems almost impossible, but with the amount of games Leicester have in the league, it can be worth the risk. In midfield, things are more simple. As I see it, Maddison and Barnes are must-have in your team, with a slight advantage to Barnes. Seems after his rocky start of the season he was able to raise his game and remind us what a great player he is, with 6 returns in his 7 last games. He is young, in shape, and probably will get the most minutes among all Leicester midfielders. His expected goals and assists are slightly lower than Maddison, but he is more involved in the Leicester games and most of the balls goes from his side, especially in fast breaks, taking advantage of his speed. Maddison got better numbers all around, and that's why he's on the most, cost the most among the Leicester midfielders. He is on set pieces of course, and most of his goals come from outside the box. In the last games he played 90 minutes, but before that in the league and Europe he came as a sub. Could be an injury that he picked and maintained his minutes, and could be some kind of strategy, but I do believe he's going to play each game from now on. Lookman and Tielemans are here just to fill up the empty spot in my graphics. Lookman mostly will come as a sub, and even if he do start, he's not an FPL option. Tielemans is here just because he's on penalties when Vardy is not on the pitch, but again, not worth in my opinion to take him just for the chance Leicester will get a penalty when Vardy is not around. As for the strikers, it's no brainer as long as he's Vardy fit to play. His season was full of injuries, but he still managed to produce double digits in goals and affect the game every time he's on the pitch. Surely his minutes will be managed now that he come back from another injury. He should be fit for Manchester United and to the European match, but as we all saw all season long, he probably won't play back-to-back games unless his minutes will be managed so he can play like 60 or 70 minutes every game. The important thing that if he will start or not, even though we all saw what he can do in 18 minutes when he was sub on against Burnley on the 72 minutes and got an assist and a goal. So for his high price it's very hard to bring him on, knowing that he probably will not start each and every game in this busy schedule for Leicester. On the other hand, when he's fit he is still better than most of the strikers right now in the league. So having him for every other game might not be such a bad idea if you got a spare funds, just a risky one. For the other two strikers who fight for his spot in every other game, it will be more difficult to know which one will take the spot because the rotation among themselves is in every game. Daka came back from injury as well, while Inacio started in the last 2 league games and in the second leg of Europe. Who is the favorite right now? Hard to know and too risky for me at least to find out. Both pretty much with the same states. In conclusion, Leicester got a lot of games ahead, 3 double game weeks in Europe. Rotation will be in each and every game. Minutes will be managed for the top players and some depends on the score Leicester will have in each game to decide who will play next. If you are going for any kind of Leicester players, you should consider all of that before picking the one that you think will play the most. Cassania, for example, is the most attacking defender they have and probably will play in the most important matches like in Europe. That means he will get a rest 3 days after and Pereira or Thomas will play instead? Could be. Leicester will focus of course on Europe, trying to get to the semi-finals, so the best players will play those games. So what I'm thinking, if you still don't have any Leicester defender for example, wait till game week 32 to decide which one you go with. And that's about it. Thank you for watching my video, do subscribe to my channel and give this video a big like. Goodbye for now and good luck to all.